Okay. All right, so we're live once again here on Wednesday, drawing with Kiddy Coders. Be sure to check out Kiddy Coders online, Kiddy Coders Club online, or on Facebook. Follow them, and you can also follow me if you like. Today, we're just going to draw a simple face, or learn how to draw a simple face. The past weeks, we're kind of learning about drawing circular shapes. We kind of drew fruit, and we got a little bit more into detail with drawing apple, and today we'll just learn how to draw a face. And it's basically kind of the same way with art. Everything is a basic shape. So let's see here. You want to start out when you're drawing a face with a circular shape of some sort, okay? Basically an oval. And it can be sketchy, that's fine. I draw pretty sketchy. Some people don't, that's okay. And what you want to do then, once you have your circle shape, which is basically like the skull, you want to add a jawline to that. And jaw shape would be basically sort of a U shape that you're connecting from one side to the other, okay? Okay, once you have that, okay, what you need to do is you probably want to add some type of center line, okay? And this can be erased later on. This is just a guideline to help you to draw. Okay, and then I'd add one in the middle, sort of like a crosshair here. Okay. Alrighty. Make that a little straighter. Okay, that's better. Okay, so with this drawing, you're kind of establishing where things go. So this is basically your eye line right here. Okay, that's where your eye is going to go. And then you need another line that's from here to here. You want to go to the middle, which is right about here. And this will be where your nose is going to go for a face. Okay, and then if I do it again, just divide in half from your nose to your chin. And that is where your mouth is basically going to be on any kind of face that you're drawing, okay? So you have that, and now we can start adding more shapes. So what shape is an eye? Well, it's basically a circle or an oval. So you can go to this line here, and in the middle, you can draw a circle on both sides. Try to keep it pretty much the same, okay? That's where the eyes will go. Okay, you want to make them a little bit more, okay, like ovals or fish shapes. So I'm just going to go back in. And I'm making the eyes really big, but this is just a basic face, okay? And sort of a fish shape almost without a tail. Okay, like so. Now, one thing you can kind of remember when you're drawing a face, it helps you to figure out what the shape of it is or how wide it's going to be, is that basically your head is about 5 eyes across. You can basically fit an eye here, your regular eye, of course, and an eye in the middle, your other eye, and then an eye on the side. That's about how wide a person's face is. So you can always use that to measure everything. Oh, I want to make my eyes are too close together, or they're too wide apart. Just kind of check that spacing in between. If you can fit like the same size eye pretty much in between there, and you can fit one on both sides, then you pretty much have how wide your face should be. And also always you want to put the eyes basically in the middle of the head. It looks really weird when you're starting to draw it that way, but that's basically where our eyes are located. They're located right in the middle there of our heads. All right, so I'm going to continue here. Oops. All right, so next I would start to, I think, draw in the nose here just a little bit more. Just define, this is where my nose is going to be. I'm just going up with some lines, sort of diagonal lines. Okay, and I'll draw some eyelids over here. Okay, and I'm just repeating shapes. This is just a curved line. Okay, just like that. That's all I'm doing. Remember, fish shapes, curved lines. Fish without the tail. It's basically your eye. Okay, just get rid of the tail. Okay, so next we're going to keep going here. I kind of put in the mouth, which I already did basically here already. And sometimes people put the lines all the way across. I didn't do that. Sometimes they put dash lines all the way across, but you want to make sure that you can erase these sort of guidelines later, so you don't want them to be too dark. Okay, so let's draw in the lips. So I'll just kind of move my drawing here a little bit. Okay, when you're drawing the mouth or the lips, okay, basically you want to think of it as being a line, okay, in the middle. And then I always think of it as being like two hills, sort of side to side. Just sort of go up and curve and dip down. That's the first heel, and then you go up again. And then this is the second heel, and it goes down, or what it call, it declines for people that like to hike. That would be like the top lip. Okay, and then the bottom lip is a little bit easier. It's just one arced or one curved line, sort of like a U shape, just going across and then back up again, just like that. Okay, and that's basically how your mouth is shaped. Pretty easy. You can think of it like that. Okay, so let's draw that over here. And I like drawing faces. It's really fun to draw faces. And, you know, drawing a face is something you have access to do at any time. You can draw someone in your house or a friend, or you can even draw yourself by looking in a mirror for practice, okay? Here you go. There's basic mouth there, okay? Now for the nose. Noses can be tricky. Okay, everybody has like a different nose. Some people have wide noses. Some people have really long noses. Some people have pointy noses. So noses vary. But basically the shape of the nose, I'll go back here again next to the lips. Basically the nose shape is it's kind of a funny shape actually. But what I like to do is I like to sort of draw a curved line for like the button of the nose, okay? Right, like that, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna draw, basically, I would say the letter C on one side, and then the letter C backwards, okay? And that is just a really simple nose. And then you add maybe a line for the nostril here and here. You can darken it however you want. And that's basically a nose. Now, you usually have a bridge on your nose, you know? There's like a line there sort of that defines the nose. Okay, sort of like that. You don't have to do that. Okay, that's getting into more detail because we're drawing just a simple nose, but I just wanted to show you that trick. So just think, it's basically, like I said, sideways C or U shape again, then the letter C, and then the letter C backwards, a straight line, and that will give you a nose. And yes, you do have to follow these rules for the most part because these are rules that were developed over hundreds of years of artists learning how to draw people and studying the face. That's how they learned, like, oh, well, the head is like 5 eyes across, and you know, your eyes in the middle, and then your nose is halfway between the eyes and the chin, and then your lips are halfway between the nose and the chin. So you want to keep all those things in what we call in proportion, okay? That's just a fancy word for meaning that it has a certain size and place, you know, like proportions. When you think proportion, you think about slices of a pie in a way. It's basically a math term. And math and art, lots of things go together with art. So let's see here. We've done that. Now next, I would say, yeah, we got to do the nose a little bit more. Let's put in those curves on both sides. Sort of like that. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, maybe I'll give some eyebrows. Your eyebrows are almost, it depends on people. Some people have lower brows than others. One thing to remember is that men usually have lower eyebrows. Women have higher eyebrows. Not always, but I think that's a pretty good rule to follow. So, and with children, sometimes their brows are a little bit higher too, because they're still growing. All right, I'll do right about there. And if it's high, it's basically the space of another eye up here between the eye and your eyebrow. And when you're drawing the eyebrows, they can be pretty tricky too. But you kind of want to think, what I usually do is I will draw a line, okay, sort of the shape of the brow, and then I'll go back in with some shading or some fuzzy lines, And I will thin out on the edge, because usually as you go to the edge of your face, or as your eyebrows go to the end, they get thinner for most people. All right, so that's usually how I would do an eyebrow. And you can add in more detail as we get more advanced in study. Okay, so I'll do a little bit of that here, because you know your eyebrows usually are pretty hairy. Some people have really thick and hairy eyebrows, some people don't. Some people pluck their eyebrows. All right, so there you go. Now I think we're forgetting something. Something's missing. What is it? What could it be? I think it's the ears. Huh? We missed the ears. We can't have a person without ears. Okay, so we need some ears. So where does that go? Okay, well, your ears basically go between the bottom of your nose and between your eyebrows. You can actually make it a little bit even lower than your eyebrows, right around where your eyes at, but basically in this space. You don't want to make them too big unless, I guess you're drawing somebody with really big ears, but you want to just make sort of a straight line and a round shape at the end and connect it for a simple ear. And you can do that on both sides. So the one thing about drawing a face or human anatomy is that you're kind of repeating the same shapes from one side to the other, one side to the other. Everything's pretty much the same, even though in real life it's not always the same. If you look at people, they usually have features that are a little bit different. Maybe, you know, one side of their body's a little bit larger than the other, or their smile is a little bit crooked and things like that. You'll notice that when you start really studying people. We're all made a little bit differently because we're not perfect, but that's okay. All right. And next, I think not being perfect is a good thing. You can celebrate the uniqueness of people. Put a dot here. The eyes for the pupils. Looks a little scary. Looks so frightened. Woo! Okay. Now I think we need a hairline. Now hair, it depends. It's sort of, the hair sort of wraps around this area here. Kind of fits around the face. It's like a basic hairline. So you can think of this person maybe almost as having like a sort of crew cut. Okay. Now if you want to make somebody with, say, longer hair, something like a girl or something, maybe you would start to draw lines out to show which direction the hair is going. Okay. And you could even add on the background. Okay, like that. Okay, what about the neck? Well, the thing you need to know about the neck is you don't want to make the neck like a log. Sometimes we do that in art. Sometimes we make the neck a little bit too much like a log or like a brick or something. It's not quite a rectangle, but it is. What you want to do is you want to think rectangle, and you want to start sort of right about in this area behind the ears. Okay. Because your neck goes all the way up into your head. It's part of your head. And what you want to do, you want to sort of curve inward, and I would say come out a little bit. Okay. And then you want to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. You want to curve in and then come out just a little bit. I think I drew that right the first time. Went a bit too far. Getting my camera in there. Curve in, come out. Okay. And different people have different kinds of necks or sizes of necks. Some people have really long necks. Some people have shorter necks. Okay. And you know, and usually people that have shorter necks tend to snore more than people that have longer necks. That's an interesting factoid there for you. Okay. What can we do now? We could add a collar if we wanted to. I'll just do a little round collar. Okay, it looks like this is going to be a girl, so. And I'll do something like that maybe. And I like to do these sort of lines of a sweater. All right, and then I'll just come out like that. Okay, and what you have here is basically a face. Okay, forgot to connect this line. Okay, so now what should we do? Well, I would say we need to maybe erase some of our lines here that we don't need. Okay. Get rid of some of these guidelines that helped us along the way. Bye-bye guidelines. We don't need you anymore. All right, get rid of those. Okay, so that we can see the actual face a little bit more. All right, not so bad. Okay, and I think one thing I think we forgot is to add maybe some eyebrows. Eyebrows, they can be done in lots of different ways. Let's just do a simple way. I guess if we're drawing, say, an eye, go back to my eye here. You can do it two ways. I'll do both. I'll show you both ways. Okay, one way I like to do is sort of, especially people like are wearing makeup. Usually their eyebrows sort of go sort of like a triangle, and then they sort of connect. It's basically a curved line you're repeating, and then you just sort of shade this area in. This is one simplified way of doing an eyebrow. Okay, mostly for girls, not so much for boys. But sometimes boys do have really long lashes too. All right, and then another way you can do it. If I was a boy, I just sort of take that little triangle off. So I was drawing a boy. The other way you can do it, I'll just draw another eye here, is, okay, again, your shape here, sort of fishy shape. Okay, and let's put in the details here. We'll circle there for the eye. Now the other way you can do it is sort of to draw curved lines like that. Okay, and I think you get a little bit smaller like that. So we can do that here. That's fine. Okay. Okay, not so bad. That's not too bad at all. Huh. Hopefully you're following along and we're drawing that with me. And now I think what I'll do is I'll get a few markers out here. Okay. I have a thinner black Sharpie today because you usually need I think you need a really thin one. This is like one I'm using here today. It's got a pretty thin point. Could be even thinner, but that's not so bad. All right, so let's try to start to add some lines to make this pop a little bit more. Okay, and you don't have to be exact with this. But you're basically repeating the work that you have done on your drawing. Okay, and I'll go here. It even like thinner Sharpie would even be better, like a really fine point Sharpie. And with the markers, they tend to bleed a little bit. Although I do like working with Sharpies. Some markers bleed more than others. You just have to kind of try out different kinds of markers to see which ones you like the best and which ones you don't. Sometimes they'll say maybe that they're really good or they don't bleed, but a lot of times they will bleed a little bit too much. A lot of people like using Sharpies because they don't bleed as much as some other brands. They're usually pretty good when it comes to that. All right. There. It's almost done. I'm going pretty fast at this because to save time so you can do this on your own and you can always watch this. Oop, make that ear a little bit too wide at time. Watch this video back anytime you'd like. Okay. If I was just drawing it on my own, I would take my time a little bit more with it. I always tell my students, you don't have to rush when you're making your art, but here I am rushing. But it's because I'm just doing a little demo here. All right, and you could even do this. You can add some extra lines to show the hair, what shape it's taking around the face, around the head, okay? And again, you can like do this anytime. You can like grab a mirror or look in the mirror. You can practice drawing your own face. You know, I think I practice the basics like this. You can ask people to pose for you. Maybe become a great portrait artist someday. All right, and then what would be left next would simply be to color it in. Just add a little shadow there since I added some there. Okay. All right. So it's basically drawing a face. Gonna erase more. Get rid of all those lines, or most of them. Erasers are a really good thing to invest in, especially erasers at an art store, or you might be able to find some even at a Walmart if you go into their craft section. Or a really good store I like to use is called Dick Blick. It's a great art store. Blick for getting art supplies. Another one I think is Jerry's Artorama, Saks Art. I think they're still around. Trying to think of all the art stores. Seems like there's one I'm missing. But basically, oh, Michael's. Yeah, I forgot about Michael's. But you can go to any art store. You can look around and see what kind of art supplies they have as far as like art tools and erasers. I wouldn't spend too much for a basic kit. I'd maybe buy some art pencils, some erasers, and a lot of things you can actually find at just like a Walmart or a drugstore as far as art supplies. If you're just starting out as an artist, to keep the cost pretty low. And then as you get more into it, you can start splurging a little more, buying more things that you think might be fun to experiment with. I hope you had fun today drawing with me. I had fun drawing with you. And again, make sure you follow Kiddy Coders online. And I'm Harlan Lovestone. It was great talking with you and making art with you. Have an awesome day.